Today we're unveiling secrets. You won't believe the curly-haired stalker's mischief in a dark alley. He handed some files to the real killer, Flassop, and after hearing his nonsense, Flassop was so mad he couldn't help but roll his eyes. A perfect scheme, painstakingly created, got completely ruined by this idiot, but just then, the real boss strolled in from the shadows. He told Curly to pay for his mistake by eating his thumb, just like he struggled to survive back in the day. Curly struggled for 30 minutes, and in the end, Flathead had to step in and simply served up a bullet. Helen dug into his spending history and found out he was a total couch potato, doing nothing but refueling his car once a week. Jack seized the lead and told Helen to search for shooting ranges within 200 kilometers, setting targets over 300 yards. While he dashed off to Sandy panicked upon seeing Jack and bloated out everything. The bar was designed by Jeb, who's vanished since then. Jack figured it out. Jeb must be in deep trouble, so he made Sandy jot down Jeb's address and casually boarded his sports car. Before leaving, he cheerfully warned Sandy to get out, or she might get caught in some big action. Jack waved around his driver's license like it was a search warrant and slyly entered after getting the grandma's nod. Surprisingly, upon entering, the old lady quietly made the call. The house was a criminal den, and Jack got goosebumps from the empty cabinets and torn curtains. He figured something bad happened to Jeb, and just as he was about to leave, bang. A heavy whack on his head, two beefy guys rushed in. After a chaotic brawl, the whole bathroom turned into disaster, but Jack came out without a scratch. Lucky day. Just when they finally agreed on their attack plan, they accidentally shoved one of their own down the stairs. Jack nearly burst out laughing. With swift moves, he easily took down both. Just as he was about to rest, a rusty gun pressed against his head. To his dismay, it was the same guy who ran off that night. Jack swiftly snatched the gun and cheerfully asked, "Where's Jeb hiding?" Unfortunately, the guy didn't know either, just mentioning Jeb was looking for someone, and bam. Another clue go poof. Reluctantly, Jack had to board the guy's car temporarily, but little did he know, as soon as he rolled out, an Audi started tailing him. He quickly met up with Helen again and asked her to provide all the investigation results. Jack knew for sure that Bal wasn't the killer. Sure, Bal wasn't the best sniper, but he wouldn't make that rookie mistake. Shooting from a parking lot is just a terrible idea. The overpass is clearly the prime sniping location. He wouldn't even need to step out of the car. He wouldn't have to worry about picking up casings, and making a getaway would be a breeze. Thus, Jack figured Bal was just a scapegoat, an innocent person wrongly accused. With such a flawless crime scene, who would really investigate? But Bal knew Jack would definitely suspect. That's why he needed to find Jack, and obviously, Jack had been stalked these days. Maybe the real puppet masters were right under his nose. So he urged Helen to check the license plate downstairs, and voila. Big discovery. The license plate was registered to a company called Labender, a rival to the powerhouse female-led firm, and Helen quickly pieced it all together. They probably targeted her firm, killed after rejection, to create a perfect crime. It must be Bal's acquaintance. This drove Jack to find the true killer and clear Bal's name, but Helen refused to join in on the action. She thought that was the police's job. She was just a lawyer with no right to interfere, leaving Jack no choice but to go solo. Little did he know, the killers had already set a trap, taking out innocent Sandy and dumping her body right beneath Jack's hotel. On his way back, Jack spotted the stalking Audi again, but this time they didn't follow, making his heart race. Sure enough, the hotel lobby was packed with cops. Seeing Sandy's body being loaded into a car, Jack immediately sensed the danger. Just then, Bo emerged. They locked eyes, but soon, he drew his gun and Jack reversed and fled. He sped after the Audi and realized the killer was in that car, but out of nowhere, his target vanished and he got trapped by the cops. Spotting a bus stop ahead, Jack made a quick decision to let his car slide into the crowd for cover. A kind black gentleman tossed him a hat to disguise himself, while other citizens jumped in to block the cops' view. Jack made a smooth getaway, but now he was on the city's most wanted list. He called Helen, starting with how he boarded her car, then dropped the bomb about them all among the three of them. Since his arrival, he knew he'd been under watch. Out of 3 people knowing his whereabouts, eliminating trustworthy Helen left only the DA. Jack arrived at Helen's shooting range, whose owner Martin, a vet, turned cold when Jack asked about Bal. He claimed to have never heard of Bal. Jack knew he was lying because nobody wants a murderer practicing their marksmanship here. Jack stated Bal was innocent and came for evidence to exonerate him. Martin hesitated briefly, then showed targets and 3 bullets. Jack hadn't practiced in a while and wanted a few more bullets to warm up, but Martin only gave him 1 shot. The first shot was a pretty dismal performance, missing entirely. But by shot 2, he was back on track, hitting the target's bullseye. Martin kept his end of the bargain, pulling out Bal's old shooting targets and raving about him being a true marksman. But Jack was like, "No, that's not Bal's work. Someone else must be doing it for him." Sure enough, the footage showed Bal always had a buddy tagging along when practicing, and that buddy was the real killer. Jack packed up the targets and called Helen to prep for some forensic work. They could be harboring the killer's fingerprints. As Helen left by elevator, the bro burst in. Helen recalled Jack's small warning. Maybe he was it.